For the first time in a long time, I might finally be able to confidently say upgrade from one generation to the next when it comes to a Samsung A series device. The A15 4G is probably everything you demanded coming from an A14 4G or A13. Well, not entirely, but mostly. AMOLED display, 90Hz refresh rate, finally rid of that poor performing Exynos 850. But I still have one problem, or maybe two. Stick around to find out. The Samsung Galaxy A15 is one device I can say has impressed me, from mere setting it up to using it day to day. Now, if you've seen my previous reviews on, say, the A14, I complain about lags in the software and the lack of performance offered by the Exynos 850. Well, after 2 generations, Samsung has decided to upgrade this device in almost every way possible. And the major highlights of the A15 that makes it a really strong contender for probably another run as the best-selling Android phone just like its predecessor is the MediaTek Helio G99, the same processor we had on the Galaxy A24, and finally an AMOLED display with 90Hz screen refresh rate. Now, while the A14, the Galaxy A14 took top spot as the bestseller for the year 2023, it left much to be desired when it comes to performance, and it was even more annoying when we discovered there were like 4 variants of the device with different processors, and Africa got the worst one. This year, however, it looks like we're having just 2 variants worldwide, the Helio G99 powered 4G version and the Dimensity 6100 Plus powered 5G version, both having the same specs aside the processor difference. And from all indications, both versions will be available in this region. As at the time of making this video, only the 4G version is available on the market. If you are coming into this video curious about how it compares to the A14, you can quote me anywhere, it is miles better. A comparison video might not even be necessary unless you are looking for how the cameras compare. But so you can be better informed, I'll actually be referencing the A14 at intervals during the course of this video. The Galaxy A15 is priced at around 177,400 naira for the base version, which comes with 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage. In USD, that is somewhere around 150. You will get memory options up to 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage. I went for the 6 gig version with 128 gigs of storage, and that cost me about 193,000 naira. Now, that's the version I recommend going for, because for the price of the 8 gig version, you're already looking at the A15 5G, which costs less than that and also has a better Dimensity processor. We need not waste any time talking about the unboxing experience, since we've already established that Samsung no longer has accessories with their devices. But one good news about the Galaxy A15 is that Samsung has upgraded the charging speeds from 15 to 25 watts. The not so good news is that you still need to get the 25 watts charger, a compatible one if you don't already have one. Design-wise, while it still retains the same Samsung design uniformity, there are some noticeable changes. The frame is flatter, so the device can now stand upright without support. Also, you notice on the right frame there is a bump where we have the power button and volume keys. This distinguishes it from the lower A series and I guess the S series. At the bottom frame, you will also notice the speaker grill is no longer a grill but a single opening, similar to what we have on the Pixels. The back of the A15 is made of plastic but with a high gloss finish, so it attracts a lot of smudges. Let's take a look at that. This is the blue-black color option. You also get it in light blue and yellow depending on your region. The SIM slot also has a noticeable change. It is now hybrid and can accept either dual SIM cards and no micro SD card, or an SD card and 1 nano SIM card. On the display, you can notice the improved bezels and U-notch compared to the A14. However, we cannot ignore the fact that at this price point, only Samsung is the manufacturer using a notched display. But we can take comfort in the fact that they finally bring Super AMOLED and 90Hz higher refresh rate, which we can consider a major step up from the 60Hz and LCD display we had on the A14. And note that I am referencing the Exynos 850 powered A14 we got here in Nigeria, and other regions got a better one. The display is as vibrant and as good as you would expect of a Samsung AMOLED. But one thing is lacking is an always-on display. Samsung, for reasons best known to them, decided to exclude it. It is a bright display and is visible outdoors with peak brightness level of 800 nits. Now, for software, the performance is almost unbelievable, especially if you previously used the A14. It is snappy and offers smoothness commendable for a budget phone. No lag so far in my experience. To put this in better context, the A14 stuttered so bad, the shutter lag was terrible to the point that you could hit the shutter 3 times and not get a shot taken. So this is a massively improved software experience. The Samsung Galaxy A15 comes with Android 14 and One UI 6 right out the box. I think it's the first Samsung phone to release with Android 14. The A05s and A05 both have Android 13. Now, with Samsung's update policy, you can expect at least 4 major OS upgrades and an extra year of security updates. That's 5 years of support, and I think it's the most you can expect for any budget phone. One UI 6 looks really solid on this device, and it might interest you to know that this is not labeled the core version. To that effect, we get secure folder, edge panel, smart view, and congratulations, you can now use palm swipe to capture screenshots. That was previously not possible with the A14, A13, and the A series below that. But don't get too excited. Samsung still thinks default screen recording is for the higher devices, so that's still not possible here. You need a third-party application to do that. But the overall performance software-wise with One UI 6, I can say I'm pleased with what I've seen so far. Now, as for how the Galaxy A15 compares to the A24 of last year, because I know some might be craving a comparison since they run on the same processor, or to put it simpler, they have mostly the same specifications. But the A24 actually offers better camera performance, especially with OIS. So only consider this an option over the A24 if you don't really care much about the edge the A24's camera offers. I believe we've already established it's a much better device than the A14. So in comparison with the competition, you can compare it to say the Infinix Hot 40 Pro, Tecno Spark 20 Pro, and as of now I think Redmi Note 12 and maybe the Note 13, which is launching pretty soon. It supports the same processor as Infinix and Tecno, but those offer more RAM, stereo speakers, and I believe an IP53 rating. But it will be interesting to see how their cameras compare. Moving on, now the processor powering the Galaxy A15 is one you could say it was used the most by manufacturers last year, and even going into this year. So safe to say it's a reliable one when it comes to performance, hence the reason you are going to find it on some solid budget phones. In gaming, it does not offer the most in terms of graphics and frame rates, as you will get at most high frame rate on the likes of Call of Duty Mobile and medium graphics. With PUBG, you get HD. You can also get ultra frame rate if you drop the graphics to smooth. But what is guaranteed is consistency at whatever graphics setting is permitted. No lags for long gaming sessions on the games I tried. With Call of Duty Mobile, I experienced increase in the device temperature, but not to the point that I'd say it's inconvenient or abnormal. In terms of the battery life of the Galaxy A15, I have nothing to complain about. It's a 5000 mAh battery, and to give you a day's usage on average to heavy use. Now to its cameras. In this department, not much has changed as it carries on the exact same camera configuration as the A14. For the camera software, everything works fine, mostly. There's minimal shutter lag, but it's forgivable, especially when you know the experience on its predecessor. After using the cameras for a few minutes though, I noticed that the software lagged for a bit, but it was a one-time occurrence, so hopefully it is nothing to worry about. It does impressive with image processing and I have no complaints. Images turn out fine, and I can say it has one of the better performances for smartphones retailing around its price. In less than ideal lighting conditions, while it does decent, I found that it sometimes barely maintains focus, and you might only find out later that you didn't get the proper shot. The selfie camera images are impressive. It has some smoothing enabled by default, but if you like your images as sharp as possible like me, you can disable it for sharper results. It is able to shoot videos at 1080p 30 frames per second. There is no 60 fps option like we have with the lower A05 and A05s. There is also no stabilization. Alright, hello YouTube. So this is the Samsung Galaxy A15, currently filming from the selfie camera, 13 megapixel selfie camera, which is able to film at 1080p 30 frames per second. Surprisingly, the A05s can do 1080p 60, but definitely you can't compare that quality to this quality. Quality looks good. Stabilization is not the best, but that's expected. It's 1080p 30 fps, can do that max from both selfie and rear cameras. And this is what it looks like, video and audio quality. Let me know what you think. The Galaxy A15 4G is a device that handles itself quite well, and I'm judging from my experience using it these past few days. Samsung, if you are listening, you still need to add a default screen recorder. Although if you are a gamer, the Game Booster allows you to screen record your games, but a default screen recorder shouldn't be exclusive to the higher budget devices. It's a basic Android feature. Now aside those, I really have no complaints about the A15. It's a solid one and I can highly recommend it. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss when I review the A25. Also, check out my review on the Galaxy A05 and A05s as shown on your screen. That's all from me.